Welcome to the Paper Straw Podcast. This is Made in Japan. We got an awesome segment here today, and I'm joined, as always, by Christian. How you doing today?
Doing good, Ryan. How are you?
Good. I mean, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the show. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah,
So I
you're ready
figured you
for the
have a
show?
suggestion for the rest of us on what to look out for.
I do. I do. We don't have a. It's like still TBA, right? We don't have a official release date, but this show seems pretty promising. When you look at all of the people that are attached to it, I'm gonna just let the trailer ride. I'm gonna share my screen and let the trailer ride here. Um, that do that. Yeah. It's only about a minute 31, but
So for context, this is the Lazarus trailer we're watching. And it's actually directed by the dude who actually did John Wick.
yep,
Like it's the
yep.
actual
We'll
guy.
talk. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But I feel like people got to get the feeling of the show down.
Animation is smooth. Okay.
It's
This
so good.
feels like
Like,
a John
it's
Woo
so
movie.
good.
This feels like something that John Woo would do.
It does. It feels like a movie. Like the music's so good. It's gonna be on Adult Swim. It's gonna be
Yeah, so give us a
uh,
backstory for this one. Like I know you
yeah,
mentioned
it's
this
gonna
to me
be
a couple of
we
what?
I have no idea when this is coming out. Like I really don't. Like tentatively, right? Like trying to pin down when this is gonna come out. I have no idea. I'm hoping
Like
next year. I'm
this.
hoping by next year. But um for those who don't know, Shinichirō Watanabe is directing the show called Lazarus. Watanabe has worked on some of the arguably, I guess you could say arguably, but he's worked on some of the best anime ever, like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Sunny Boy. He was a producer on. It's something I was speaking to Christian about earlier before we hit record. But yeah, I mean it's got some of the craziest talent attached to it. I mean Chad Stahelski. I'm gonna butcher that.
Chad
Chad
Stahelski.
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 He's doing the I guess action scenes. You best
Yeah,
describe it. He's doing the kind of choreography, but like for anime. This guy has worked on John Wick. Just so you guys know, like
and
he's a relatively big name. I feel like when it comes to just uh like Hollywood, really. I mean,
in terms of action,
um,
Stahelski is actually a legend. Like he also did stunt work
yeah,
for The Matrix, which
mm,
pretty much
I know.
defined
Yeah,
how action is done for an entire decade for the film industry.
and
Like
it's interesting because like this seems like very much a kind of not necessarily like the Matrix, but it has elements from the Matrix or
ooh, there's a
to a
lot.
degree. Like it
Yeah.
feels like it. So anyway, let's kind of paint the picture here. So I have Wikipedia up. This will help me. In the utopian year 2052, Dr. Skinner discovered a miracle drug. In 2055, that's 3 years later, Skinner announces that the drug has a 3 year half life and soon everyone who took it will die. A task force of 5 agents is assembled to locate Skinner and find a vaccine. Now, how exactly, what are we looking at here? Like, who's Dr. Skinner? Who is the main character? We don't really know. Like, all the only name we have is Dr. Skinner, really, when it comes to the context of the narrative. We do know it says right here it's going to be 13 episodes. So hopefully, hopefully there'll be like I don't know. Knowing
Yeah,
Watanabe, it's
13.
just going to be one select story. Like it's not going to have a season two. It's not going to have a third season, as far as I know. Right? Like just knowing how Watanabe works.
Now that's one part of it that actually scares me. With just 13 episodes, what are we talking about here? Is it just gonna be 27 minutes, 25 to 27?
Yeah, I hope.
It's going
I
to
hope.
be, and the story
I'm
would be
I'm I'm
deep.
that kind of guy that likes these very short, very quick anime that you can digest. Like I've spoken about FLCL a lot. I love
Yeah.
FLCL, and that's like 8 episodes, I think. Right. Um, and Elfen Lied, another one. Elfen Lied's just one season. So yeah, I can see this being just one season, just one story, boom, and that's it. But like, what you're worried? Why are you
Yeah,
worried?
because I'm
Just
gonna
like
be
the
worried
narrative's
because
not
they're
going to be as
in
cohesive?
terms of no, not just that conclusion. The way they're gonna be pacing this thing on whether we're gonna get like if it's just gonna be a one-off, I would love to savor it, like at least have character
Mm.
development on it. Not just for the main characters. You don't want people or other characters to just be props that he hangs around
I
with.
don't think that's going to be a problem with Watanabe. I mean, look
And
at
the
Cowboy
world that
Bebop.
they've actually shown in the trailer feels actually big. Maybe just too big for how many episodes for 13?
Ah,
Just one
now
season?
you're just judging it. Now you're just judging it. No, we don't know shit. We don't know shit. We
Yeah,
don't
I
even
don't
know
know
like
shit, but
what this world looks like yet, you know?
I can only
I think
just
the go ahead.
base my expectations on what I've seen with similar structures
I hear
before.
you.
But the director, whoever is actually helming this, and the staff they have is actually giving me hope on how it's done. I just don't see them based from their portfolio that they actually did anything this short for such a big world.
I mean, what Cowboy Bebop isn't a big world? Galaxies. We're talking about multiple
But how
galaxies.
many
Cowboy
episodes
Bebop,
does Cowboy Bebop have?
I think 13. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's very short. Cowboy Bebop episodes. Pretty sure is only. I mean, there are 2 seasons technically.
Yeah, like you said,
Actually, no.
you
There's
might
26.
see
I mean,
the
see,
Samurai
it's still
Champloo
what
is
two times
Samurai
two for
Champloo
this.
is not actually that short, I think, from what I
Samurai
remember.
Champloo is
But
also
I
kind
am
of.
not gonna be discounting the fact on the talent that's behind this. So I'm really hopeful about this. I'm just worried regarding the pacing that they're gonna be doing because they might rush it. Like I hope it's not just gonna be all flash.
Samurai Champloo is
But
also
I am
26
interested in it.
episodes.
But I am interested in what I see on screen.
See, the
That's the
interesting
thing.
thing with Watanabe is he likes to focus on the characters as opposed to the overarching story a lot. Like Cowboy Bebop has so many episodes where they're just fucking around. You know, they're not necessarily it's not moving the plot along, but it is developing the characters to a degree. Um, like trying to think of like a good example, but I can't. There's an episode in Cowboy Bebop where they all take shrooms and they all it's so funny. It's so funny and you know, it leads to some hilarity, but it really doesn't have anything to do in the grand scheme of the narrative, right? It's just they have it's just like this tiny moment and that's it. There's no like conversation about it after, right? There's no oh, you know, that episode or that, you know, time we took shrooms. Like there's no callback to it. It's just that happens, they grow, they all come together, and the story goes along. And I think that's what makes Watanabe's like just narrative storytelling so appealing because it's never really about the full story. It's about the characters and how they develop together. Like we have, so it says a task force of 5 agents that are going to go after this Dr. Skinner guy. I think these 5 are going to have a lot of like discrepancies and I guess like I don't even know the word, like they're just not going to be a functional group until like
Yeah.
the 9th episode. Like that's how I can see it. It's like they're not really going to be that cohesive of a group.
Yes, based on the
And the
plot
other
alone,
thing,
based on the plot alone, I'm sorry. I just
no, you're
hope
good.
that this is just not a one-off or just a one season thing. Like I feel they could do
Yeah,
more with this type of
I
plot.
uh, I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know. again, I'd have to give it 3 episodes first. I need to like kind of bask in the episode or bask in the world building first, because it really depends on how he wants to approach the world building, right? Like you said, like the world seems big. And you're right. It's a huge city in or megalopolis, right? In 2055. Like it's a lot to digest. And it'll take a while for people to kind of get associated with this world and these characters. But I think what will help is Watanabe's touch, right? His pizzazz. It's something that I was talking to Christian about before, but Watanabe always starts with the music. As you can see, there was not a single spoken line of dialogue in that trailer. It was all just vibes, right? Like that's the best way I could describe it. Like, what do you
Yeah,
get out of that trailer? You feel something. You haven't even seen the show yet. You don't even really know what the story's about from that trailer. All you get is a banging ass song and some really cool like sequences of like action and yeah,
in
I don't
terms
know.
of music, I have no complaints about it because this is a genre that I love. I love jazz. I play
Yeah.
jazz.
Or what
I
would
play
you even
jazz.
call would you call that jazz?
Yeah, it is. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty. You know the signature when it comes to Cowboy Bebop and it comes to their sound. Like it's
I
pretty
would call it
evident
more
of.
electronic, honestly. I would call it
Yeah, there are
I hear
hints
you
of.
with the jazz. It's definitely got a jazz undertone, but I
Yeah,
would call it,
there's a
and
DJ in it.
that's God, that's such another awesome element to kind of talk about. So,
But
um,
in terms
like
of
you said,
music,
Cowboy Bebop has the jazz, right?
yep,
Like Jupiter Jazz. It's all about jazz, all about like archetypes. Whereas Samurai Champloo, it had the hip hop. It was more about hip hop and punky kind of music. And I think this is going to take a vastly different approach with its electronic elements. Like we brought up the jazz stuff, but so it's going to have for its score several producers on. So jazz saxophonist Kamasi Washington, who's
yes,
pretty popular, and sure, that's jazz. Okay. But the next two people are mostly DJs, Floating Points and Bonobo. They both make like, how do I describe this? Like electronic music, like trying to think of like a way. It's like elemental is the way I like to describe it. It gives you this feeling like one of these songs from Floating Points it's like the beat constantly is rising, and it's just like you're just like kind of sucked into it. I'm honestly, I'm like really excited for the soundtrack of all else. Like I think the story's gonna be great. I think the overall character development, all that stuff is all gonna coalesce really well, but I think the soundtrack's gonna be pretty awesome on this.
yeah. Just based on the trailer alone, I think the soundtrack's gonna be killer.
Yeah, and that's
But
that's what I
if
find
I'm
so
gonna
interesting.
be, yeah, if I'm gonna be judging it just based on the sound alone, I've had this feeling before in regards to music that I don't judge it based on the music alone. That's why I wanted this to be more than how many episodes it is, because I feel the
13.
world would be bigger. And if I'm gonna be hooked by the sound, I don't want it to be Suicide Squad levels of being hooked by the music. Like it's
Listen,
like
I have no idea if it's just 13 episodes or what. All I know is it says 13 episodes here. I don't know if there'll be more or less. Like I don't take my word. I just knowing Watanabe, it'll be short, right? Like
yeah.
I don't know. It's just I have a feeling it's gonna be, if not 13 episodes, probably 26, right? Probably 2 seasons. And it's gonna be on Adult Swim. I think we brought that up. And I think probably most surprising, at least for me, is the fact that animation is being done by MAPPA, who, if you guys don't know,
Yeah.
they do,
That's
they
one
almost
thing
do
also that
everything.
I love that they
They're
got
most well
MAPPA.
known for Jujutsu Kaisen. Like their
Yeah.
animation,
JK,
what do they call it? The MAPPA effect now, right?
the
It's like an
MAPPA
actual
effect.
thing. The MAPPA effect is an actual thing, right? Uh,
Because of the recent success that they had with JJK. They also did Chainsaw Man, right?
Yes, I think so. Let's see. What else did
So
MAPPA do? They've done a
they got
ton
a
of
good
stuff.
portfolio over the
Crazy.
past couple of years. Like they got Hell's Paradise, which is actually Vinland as them,
Vinland, they did Doro
right?
Oro, which is I haven't seen that, but oh, and Terror in Residence. Terror in Residence is by Watanabe as well.
And they
I've
also
only seen
got
a
the
couple
final
episodes
season.
of that.
Yeah, they got the distinction of having the final season of Attack on Titan,
Attack on Titan. Oh, and they
right?
did Doro.
Yeah, they did
What?
Roro. And they did one of, I don't know if everyone knows this,
And
banana
Inuyashiki is.
fish.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So I
We
will
can go.
also
We can keep
always
going.
love
Like
them
this.
for this one.
Like Mappa's pretty well known when it comes to just animation alone. Damn, that's
So I
sick.
hope it
Yeah,
has the
I
same
had no
effect.
idea they did. What's that?
So I hope they have the same effect on this one
I
because
mean,
I feel that if they handle this correctly, it's all gonna fall under the script, right? Everything's gonna be falling under the screenplay of this.
yeah.
So
Don't think
this
I don't
might
think
be
we
an ep-
have who wrote it. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that Watanabe wrote it, but I have no idea. I have no clue.
we only have the director.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know
I
who
mean,
actually did the screenplay for this one.
I'm
Yeah, that's
again, I'm just
weird.
gonna assume that he wrote it too, but it doesn't say. It's not specific. So
It's not
yeah,
credited
I
to
don't know.
him.
And I've looked it up. I've looked it up before. It's not based on any manga or other anime or anything before. As far as I know, it's an original story. So I wouldn't be surprised if Watanabe created this
You think
for.
he wrote this because the character felt like Spike Spiegel. It really feels like it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's why it just like the characters, just from what we've seen, and knowing Watanabe, it feels like very much his type of story. Um, yeah. Again, it's crazy that it's like you get the space opera, right? The space, what's the word? Space western. You get the
Yeah,
space western and Cowboy Bebop. You get the literal like samurai action. You get the
Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo, and now you're getting like a cyberpunky kind of like tale. I don't even know how to describe it. And Terror in Residence doesn't really have something like that. The music is good in Terror in Residence, but it's not to the level of this as far as I have you know experienced. Terror in Residence is his most recent work, I think, right? I think that was his most recent thing. So could be wrong.
So we still don't know when this will be coming out.
Yeah, well, Carol on Tuesday, he was chief director. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know when this is coming out. I mean, 2024. I think that's a tentative date is 2024. Project is planned to be completed by 2024, but did not promise that the series would release in that year.
Did
So
you ever feel like they already have the plot and they just made this trailer without actually having written anything yet? That's why we don't
I
haven't
wouldn't be
seen a
surprised,
screenplay.
honestly. Though I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that because it takes forever. Like I'm assuming that music video, like whatever trailer teaser,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was made alone, like you said, like standalone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, some
Like
of the scenes
they
in there might not be seen in the actual series.
no no no
Sometimes
no
it's
no,
usually the
you
case.
will you will, but I'm saying like they made that specifically to release, if that makes sense. Like they didn't already have those scenes made. They made those scenes for the trailer, for the teaser, and then they'll work them into the actual edit, the actual show.
Yeah, I
It's really
hope
just to
so.
get people hype.
Basically, they just showcase what Chad Stahelski can do in animation.
Is Sola Entertainment is also working on it? What do they do? I don't know what they're known for. Evangelion, Ultraman.
Yes, Shenmue. And
They're also
Tower of
working
God,
on it.
in
Sola
terms of
Digital.
animation, yeah, Tower of God and The God of High School. This is a good portfolio to have among their team. So I
I think the
have no.
only weird downside thing is that the fact that it's on Toonami. Like why I don't know, it's just like why Toonami? It just
It's
confuses
a,
me. Like what
it's
like
Adult Swim, right?
yeah, essentially. Essentially.
So
But like I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know, it's just weird to me. It's
what
just funny.
weirded you out regarding Toonami carrying this?
What?
What weirded
Because
you
it's an
out regarding?
American company. You'd think that like it's because it's like releasing on Toonami. You'd think that like it would be picked up by some Japanese place first, and then like the rights would be sold to Toonami or something else, right? Like it's just interesting to me that like its first pick was Toonami Adult Swim to put in other words, they have an audience. They know the audience. They're
Yeah,
gonna sell it to that audience. Like they already know who to sell this to.
this is more gonna be for the West, right?
For sure. For sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the Japanese dub is comes second, whereas the English dub is first, if that makes sense, right? Like the English audio, like it's gonna be all in English, I feel like
Yeah, because in
first.
terms of animation for Toonami, the only thing I can actually point my finger at is actually Zoids.
Yeah, I don't I think we've talked about this before. I never seen Zoids. I don't know what that is.
So yeah, it does seem strange that they built this more for the West.
I told you. It's like again, it goes back to what I was saying with the fact that they know their audience and they're gonna sell directly to that audience. Um yeah, it's I don't know.
But let's just hope that they exceed my expectations at this point. Because see,
I mean, it
just judging
looks
from that trailer, had me hype. The trailer had me hype for it,
I'm assuming
but I
you've
still
seen
have
Cowboy
my.
Bebop, you've seen Samurai Champloo, right?
Yeah, I've seen both.
Yeah, yeah. Do you like
Like
him
the
or
live action for the Cowboy Bebop actually left a bad taste in my mouth
you
regarding
know,
it.
I didn't it's weird. I didn't hate that. I thought the acting it could have been better and just the overall story could have been better or better directed. I mean, it started with the direction.
That's the thing I mentioned. Like it, the Cowboy Bebop thing felt more like it's more style than substance to me.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
hope,
And Vicious was awful.
yeah, I hope
Whoever they
it
got to
doesn't
do
turn out
Vicious
this way.
was like a joke. It was just like, what?
Yeah,
Like, have you seen and the Faye. Like Faye is a femme fatale. It's not whatever the fuck she was in the live action
yeah, and I
bullshit.
think
Like,
everyone got hyped because one, the music and the trailers were actually on point without with
eh,
the theme of the Cowboy Bebop anime. Everyone was hyped because of it.
it still
Like,
looked weird as hell though. Like the opening crawl or whatever, like with
yeah,
the
it did.
bam or what's the song, whatever. It just looked weird to me in live action. Like them repurposing it for live action. Just I was like, what? Like I don't know. Like I understand like what else would they have done, right? Would they made a completely new intro or something? Like I don't know, but I just didn't like how it looked. Anyway,
I
like
love I
besides
love the
the point.
timing of the plot for Lazarus thing regarding vaccines. Like
Yeah,
it's really on the
yeah.
nose. Like
Actually, you make a good point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. That show's gonna be
maybe,
really good, I think, personally. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think the show's gonna be pretty sick.
yeah,
Especially with Watanabe at the helm.
yeah. Our audience, please leave on the comments if you feel hyped for this one after watching that trailer, and if you, a- and also tell us what you're expecting of it. Like I did mention my expectations after watching it, but this is just based on my experience in watching very similar animes.
There's a Shinichirō. I wanted to bring up this show. Not many people talk about it, but it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Watanabe. He always starts his productions with the music. There's a great video on YouTube you can find. It's like 4 minutes, I think, of another director talking about like working with Watanabe and how music was like the number one thing that Watanabe focused on primarily. Like it was just like if the music isn't good, the show's not going to be good. And I find that so fascinating. But he worked on a show. Funny enough, he actually worked as the music advisor for a show called Sunny Boy. And
Yeah.
it sounds like a like Sunny Boy. What the fuck? Trust me when I say this is one of the most surprisingly good anime I've seen in a while. I watched this closer to the beginning of the year, but yeah, the animated series. It's only again, it's another short one. I think it's like a 13. Let's say it's 12 episodes long, but it has incredible music associated to it. A lot of that can be thanks to Watanabe. But
Yeah.
I highly recommend Sunny Boy. I highly recommend it. It's weird. It's a weird show, and you're just kind of not. You're not gonna like. There's no way you're gonna tell what's gonna happen next. Does that make sense? You're not gonna be able to predict what will happen next. It's such a I don't even know how to describe the themes and stuff associated with it,
Yeah.
but I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And a lot of people probably aren't going to like get into it. A lot of people, it'll be hard for them to kind of like grasp because it's so weird. It's very weird, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I think you can find it on Crunchyroll. I think it's on. Oh, it's probably on Funhouse too. It's probably or
Sunny
what's not
Boy.
Funhouse. What's the other one?
Yeah, I
Can't
think
think there.
the studio that made it is actually Madhouse, so I'm gonna be checking it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's good. It's good. And I mean, you already know the music's gonna be pretty fire.
It's
I mean,
Madhouse.
look at the soundtrack. You can actually find. I didn't even realize you can find the soundtracks right there. Pretty good.
Music. Yeah, another one of your recommendations is actually Sunny Boy, right? It did
What's that?
win an award, right?
Did it?
It did.
Yeah, the Excellence Award in Animation at the 25th Japan Media Arts Festival. Yeah, the series was
Yeah.
nominated in two categories in the 2022 Crunchyroll Anime Awards: Anime of the Year and Director of the Year. Interesting. I didn't realize it was
Yeah.
nominated for Anime of the Year. That's crazy. Damn.
Yeah, it legitimizes your love for it, right?
It was also nominated for Mystery or Psychological Anime of the Year for Anime Trending Awards. Interesting. I mean, it was nominated for in a ton of different categories in Anime Trending Awards, but I thought that one, Mystery or Psychological Anime of the Year, that one's like it should have won that. It should have won. I mean, like it's
It-
so
well,
weird.
Wikipedia categorizes it as science fiction and survival. Like, is it
Yeah,
the Hunger Games type of thing?
no, not really.
Okay.
But actually, what's funny? You can the way I describe it to some people is kind of like fuck what's the book? Something like that. What's the name of that really? Lord of the Flies. Lord of the
Lord of the
Flies.
Flies.
It's a lot like Lord of the Flies, kind of, except they're older kids. Like Lord of the Flies, I think they're what, like young, they're younger. In Sunny Boy, they're in high school. And they get kind of like it literally starts with them trapped in a
Yeah.
another dimension. I don't know how to describe it. Like I literally don't know how to describe. They're in like a pocket dimension. Like it's the
To
best
our
way to describe
younger,
it. But
yeah, to
the
our
pocket
younger
dimension is
audience,
like their school. It's like they're stuck in their school in a pocket dimension. But
yeah,
then
to
they
our younger
realize that they all have
audience, if
different
you,
powers and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. What?
yeah, to our younger audience, if you want to gain a new perspective in life, watch Lord of the Flies.
Or read it. Or read it. Highly
Read
recommend
it.
reading it over over
No,
watching it. But yeah,
this generation won't read anything.
no.
Just watch it.
Those spark notes it.
Just watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
You'd enjoy it with popcorn. So yeah.
yeah, I mean, I
So
think
I will be
that's
looking forward to this one because you have me hyped up for it.
yeah. I mean, in the
Lazarus.
comments too, let me know if you've watched it before too. I'd love to know if you guys have seen it. I know a lot of people probably are gonna say they haven't even heard of it, honestly.
It's gonna be a
Um,
rarity for me to actually watch something that doesn't actually have any physical media at
yeah.
this point, like a manga, to actually at least provide me context of what I'm gonna be waiting for. But at least the trailer is enough for actually to give me interest.
Well, I think just the sheer fact that Watanabe worked as the music advisor, it's just like interesting. Like what? Like this is a guy who's known for like Cowboy Bebop, like a directing powerhouse, and
Yeah.
and they put him on the music for this show. It's just like what? You know what I mean? It's just weird to me. It's just funny. Like you have this like renowned director. You don't put him on the director though. You don't put him in the director seat. You just put him on the sound design essentially. Just funny to me. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
again, to our viewers, if this trailer actually put in the comment section if the trailer actually hyped you up regarding this, Lazarus, or if you have any other information that we don't know, please add it
that'd
to
be
the
sick.
comment section. We'd really love to get your input on this.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's it for our episode, Ryan.
Yeah, I
We'll
don't really have
be
much else. I really wanted to rant about I really wanted to rant about Sunny Boy because no one talks about it. And Lazarus too. Lazarus is hype, but I
Lazarus.
feel like we're not going to see that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunny Boy people could actually watch. So I
Yeah.
might be.
Actually, Sunny Boy would be a great show to kind of get you hyped, get you ready for Lazarus when it comes out. You know. Actually another great show. What's the oh fuck. I can't think of it. Um it's not being my Mappa. Damn, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to like comment on it later, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. I forget the name of the show. There's another great show that has great music that is kind of like Sunny Boy a little bit, but it's very good. Very good.
Yeah, well,
But yeah.
thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Made in Japan. So we value your opinion here. Feedbacks on the comment section. Once again, my name is Christian, and I'm joined by Ryan. And thank you for joining us. And have a
Yeah,
good
man.
one, everyone. Bye.
Take care.